Hello everybody, it's been a minute since I've seen you. I got injured last year, my own fault, clumsiness, and so I've been out of commission for a while, but I want to start back up on my channel. And I think what I'm going to start with is talking about herbal medicines, which has become a big passion for me. So the first one I'm going to do is Kava. I have a need to make it. My son uses it regularly. And what it is, it's a member of the pepper family, and it's been safely used by South Pacific people for more than 3,000 years. In many of these societies, the term Kava means bitter, sour, or sharp, and it is a bit bitter. So a lot of people make tea with this. They mix it in hot chocolate, and what I normally do is put it into a capsule. The medicines that really taste yucky, I put them in powder them and put them in capsule form, and that way you just swallow them down and they do what they need to do, but you don't have to taste it because it really is gross. The first well-known encounter of Europeans with Kava was during the first voyage of Captain James Cook in 1768 to 1771. His botanist on board the Cook ship is credited with giving the plant its name, and he named it Piper methysticum, I think. It's hard to pronounce these crazy names, which means intoxicating pepper. It appears to produce a wealth of psychological effects in people who use it. Because of the botanical's complex psychoactivity, Kava is difficult to categorize in terms of common classifications and has been described by researchers as a relaxant and hypnotic. I don't know so much about hypnotic stuff because I've taken it too, but it does relax you. If it's almost like a mild sedative. If you have trouble sleeping, a lot of times it's prescribed for people with high anxiety. Sometimes mental issues, like if you need to just calm down. And this is really great. My son has PTSD from being in the military, imagine that. He was in Afghanistan, and he does take this, and he said it really helps to get him some sleep. It helps to calm him down. And he's also found out that it does have a certain element of a pain reliever. So you get a bonus on both ends. You get a little bit of a pain reliever and a relaxant. In the South Pacific societies where Kava is prevalent, users commonly experience a mild euphoria characterized as elevated mood, a lively speech, and an increased sensitivity to sound. That's if you take it for, sometimes they would use it in their rituals, that kind of thing. So you don't really want to take that much if you're just using it to relax. You don't need to go on a trip. And it has antibacterial benefits as well. It's primarily used in the United States and Europe as an antidepressant, stress reliever, and a muscle relaxant. It's also getting popularity as a sleep aid, which it really does help you relax and drift off to sleep. Several European countries have approved it for the treatment of anxiety, depression, insomnia, and restlessness on the basis of extensive clinical trials. And you can make recipes with it. A lot of people put it in hot chocolate, but it does have a chalky substance to it. So I prefer just to take it in capsule form and have done with it, rather than have that chalky taste in your mouth. And the texture is chalky and stiff, and so a lot of people prefer the capsules. But if you have trouble taking pills, you can mix it in hot chocolate or milk, or some people put it in smoothies. They put it in a tea bag and make tea with it, which I wouldn't recommend because it's pretty sour. But it's actually, that's what it's used for. And I just thought I'd give you a little background on it. Excuse my difficulty getting back, and I'm not smooth in front of a camera. But I just wanted to start with this one, and I'll show you how I prepare it. So hang in there. Okay, the first thing we have to do is powder this so we can put it in our capsules. So here's our bag of Kava. And I got this from Monterey Bay Herb Company. And as far as I'm concerned, they have the best prices for their herbs. And I'm going to put this in my little coffee grinder. And you can fill it up pretty full because it's going to turn to powder. Okay. And we put it in here and we grind it. And I'm not going to make you listen to the grinding because it is pretty loud. So let me show you what it looks like after I push this little button, and we'll grind it down to powder. Okay, I ground it. Here's our powder in my coffee grinder. And then I just pour it into a bowl. There you go. It's in powder form now, so I can put it into my capsules. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the bag real quickly. So hold on. Okay, now I've taken a bottle, and these are actually little spice bottles, but they are the perfect size to do pills. And you must wear gloves always when you're making any kind of medicines. Put on your plastic gloves. And one of the reasons is sanitary reasons when you're making your medicines, and so that it doesn't absorb, the medicine that you're making does not absorb through your skin, because you don't want to make a medicine and have it get absorbed greatly into your skin, because then you're getting that medicine in your system and you may not want it, you may not need it. And if you do, like sometimes I'll do multiple pills a day with different type of herbs, and you can actually make yourself sick by absorbing all those different herbs into your system, and you don't want to do that. So for sanitary reasons and to protect yourself from absorbing things that you don't want to absorb, please wear plastic gloves when you are doing these pills. And this is our Kava. It's going to be 600 milligrams is what I'm doing today. And you can get 100 pills in these little bottles. They're just little spice bottles. So we'll set that aside. Here's our powdered Kava. I've powdered 1/4 pound of Kava. And an interesting note is that you can give this to your animals. If you have a dog that's not feeling well, if it's in a lot of pain, or any animal really, you can mix this up into their food, a little bit of it, not excessively, but it will act as a relaxer and a painkiller also for animals that is safe for your animals. As a matter of fact, my son wanted capsules for himself, and he wants a little bag of loose Kava so he can use it for his dog. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this capsule maker machine. It's $60, and it is just amazing. It makes 100 capsules at a time. I absolutely love it. I would highly recommend it. I believe the name of it is called Capsules, and you can get it on Amazon or in several sites on the internet. But I highly recommend it. I use it all the time. I love it. And 100 pills at a time fills one whole bottle, and that's pretty much all you need. That'll last you for a while before you have to refill it. So let's get started. First of all, you want to use, and I got these from Herb Affair. They're fairly inexpensive. I like the size 00, which makes, you can, depending on how hard you want to pack it, you could go from, if it's loosely packed, you can do 600 milligrams, and you can go up to 1,000 milligrams on your capsules by actually packing it into the capsule. And there's a little tool that you can use to do that if you want to pack up. So first what we're going to do is we're going to put in the bodies. It's the bigger part of the capsule. And we'll put those into, you have your little frame piece, and this is the base. You put the frame on top of the base, it fits perfectly, and you see all the little holes there, and they perfectly align. And it shows in the instructions you can dump them in here, you shake it, and they fall down in. But I've had difficulty with them going in upside down, and it actually takes more time to fuss with that than to dump some out and just put them in individually. And it really doesn't take that long. Just make sure you don't skip any holes, and you just dump the bodies down and see inside the holes. Whoops. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this, and I'll be right back. So what we've done is put our powder on top of our little holes here that we filled with the bodies. Put on our little body plate on here, so it keeps it from spilling over the sides while you do this. And you just fill it all in. And when you're done, you can actually take this off, put the residue in your bowl, set it aside. And this is a little, you have to be careful, but you can scrape it off the excess back into the bowl. And you can see all the little holes, the little capsule bottoms are all filled, and you can see it in here. There's all of our little capsule bottoms all filled up. Okay, and then you want to set this aside. I still look at my instructions every time just to make sure I don't miss a spot. Then you're going to want to take your capping plate, which is, and all these parts come together, and you don't have to buy them individually if you buy the kit. Okay, and this is our capping plate. See these little holes? And you take your frame plate and put on top, and the holes match up perfectly. And now we're going to put our caps in it. Okay, I had to adjust the fan here in the kitchen. It is hot. It is really hot today. So I was getting too warm, so I had to adjust the fan. So now we're going to take our caps, and they come a bag separately from the body. And if you order these bags, you get 1,000 caps and 1,000 bodies, 2 separate bags. So it can last you a really long time. You can imagine by the time you make 1,000 caps, I mean, you have made a lot of product. So let's take our caps and do the same thing. I'll fill these all up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, now we have all of our caps inside here. Take off the capping plate carefully. Sometimes you'll get some that stick in here. You just take them off, put them down in the hole that it's missing, and you're good to go. Now you want to take your middle plate, put over top to where, and it fits perfectly with the little caps right over top of them. And you take the bottom part with your product, take your middle plate and your capping, and you carefully turn them upside down, fit them over top, and you can see there's like little screws in each hole. You can see where they go, and you simply start pressing. Then I press kind of hard to make sure, hopefully, all of them get capped. Now, I got to tell you, sometimes, you know, nothing's infallible. Sometimes you have a cap or a body of the cap, you know, that goes with the cap that has been cracked, or they're not exactly perfect. And these are made out of gelatin that has been hardened. They're vegetarian capsules. They dissolve easily. They're not plastic in any form. They're gelatin. So, you know, they will crumple. They will do some weird things, but you carefully take it off. And it would appear that one cap did stick in the hole somewhere. So you can see what I mean. It's not infallible. Here's one little hole that did not get a top cap. And that could have been because I missed a hole when I was putting the tops in, or it got crunched and it's still in here somewhere, which I'll have to look. But 99 out of 100 of the capsules are intact. So we're going to call that a definite win. And here they are, little capsules. Move everything out of the way. And you turn this upside down and they should fall out, or you can, there you go, you can push them out. Make sure all of your counter space, everything that touches your herbs or your capsules has been cleaned thoroughly with a good cleaner. I use bleach and soapy water and always wash my cabinets first before I do this, because I want everything to stay nice and sanitary, because most of my medicines are going to other people and for myself and my family, and I don't want anyone getting any kind of bacteria or anything on their capsules. So cleanliness is next to godliness, and that is for sure. So here's our bottle. And these are, because I only filled the bottom, I didn't pack it, these are 600 milligrams of Kava. So, and you might want to take them and kind of push them together, because some of them don't completely click, just to make sure they don't come apart. And you can feel it if they need to be pushed together. Most of them are pretty good, but every once in a while you get a few. And I've had a couple here that weren't completely sealed, and you don't want them coming apart in the bottle. You want them to stay in the capsules. And so you can tell this is it's kind of loose in the capsule. It's not like super tight, super packed. And that's your 600 milligrams. And my son usually takes 2, so that's 1,200 milligrams, which is more than enough to help him relax. And it's a little bit of a painkiller. It helps the muscles relax, and he gets a good night's sleep. And I like that these are all vegetarian capsules. They're gel, easily digestible. So I'm going to go ahead and finish checking these and putting them in the bottle, and I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, so I am finished with the Kava. Some people just call it Kava, but I think the South Pacific people call it Kava. And here's 2 bottles of the Kava pills that I made for my son. They're 600 milligrams each. That should last him for a little while. There's 200 pills there. And this is the powder that I'm going to send him for his little doggy. His dog was diagnosed with cancer, so she's very uncomfortable, and this will help her relax, and it's a little bit of a painkiller. So this is for the dog. So he's got his 2 bottles in his baggie, and I'm going to pack them up and send them to him, and hopefully that makes them both feel better. So that's it for today. Subject was Kava, as you know, and that's how you do it. So next time I'm going to be probably making ashwagandha and putting that in pill form. Ashwagandha is really awesome. I'll talk about that next. And every Friday I want to try to put out a video on my herbal medicines, and I'll tell you all about them and how they work, and maybe you might want to try it yourself. So thank you so much for coming by. I guess I can take these gloves off now. and get out of this kitchen. It's very hot. So it's over 100 degrees, so it's hot. So that's it. You guys have a great day, good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. And I hope this has been of some help to you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Put them in the comments and I will get back to you. So you have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.